Hello and welcome to Fintech Impact. I'm your host, Jason Pereira. Today on the show, I have Jonathan Faerman, founder of Investium. Investium is a platform that allows people to meet other people online who are interested in co-investing in real estate so that they can go off and do that. So Jonathan Faerman of Investium, tell us about Investium.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me here, Jason. So Investium is basically a platform where people meet to invest together in real estate. You can think of it as a dating platform where people will find others that are like-minded and they have similar objectives. So basically, when you create an account, it's free. So you create an account in 2-3 minutes. You will state your investment preferences, where you're located, for example, what kind of properties you're interested, and that the platform will match you with other people, or you will be able to search others, similarly as you do in any social network or dating platform. And then you will be able to join them in private group settings, private investment groups, where you're able to discuss in confidentiality with your partners, maybe 2, 3, 4, the number that you want, and you're able to discuss with them projects that you want to take together.
Excellent. So talk to me about how Investium came to be.
Yeah, I think that's the best part. So the way Investium came to be is really out of a personal. I became a real estate investor almost by chance. I had a condo downtown Montreal where I live. And then it was time to move out to a bigger place. So I bought at the same time a house and I started to rent out my condo. So I had an interesting start as an investor where my tenant, the day after I signed with him, he called me and told me he wasn't going to be able to pay. So I started with the right foot there. And a couple of years later, after renting out, I decided to sell the condo and invest in something bigger. But I didn't want to invest in something bigger by myself. I wanted to do it with a partner. And at the time, I wasn't able to find other partners to do it. I didn't want to do it with friends or family. And I couldn't really find someone to do it. So I said, okay, there might be something here. I had met my wife online. We have 2 kids and we've been together for many years now. So I said, okay, like meeting people online, obviously it works. But if you can meet a life partner online, why can't you meet also a business partner online? And that's how the idea of Investium came to be. I knocked on many doors. I have a couple of investors that they believe in my vision and hired local talent, something I'm very proud of. And I started building the platform.
Excellent. All right. We're going to clarify one thing before we go any further. This is a platform for meeting people, not for distribution of investment advice or investment products itself, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. So it's a fine line there where you're regulated versus not having to deal with the regulators. So all you do is making introductions. So that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So talk to me about the experience. I am someone who discovers you. I'm interested in real estate investing. What does my experience look like?
Okay, perfect. So the first thing you're going to do is, as I mentioned before, is you're going to create an account, right? You're going to state your investment preferences. You will have to go through a 2-step verification. The same thing you will have to go through with Google. So we have a first layer of security there. That will enable you to join the platform. After you joining the platform, you will be able to validate your identity with an ID, with a government ID and a selfie. We use a third-party service for this as a second layer of security, and you will get a check mark. So people know that Jason is actually Jason because you verify that with a government ID. After you do that, you will be able to see existing investment groups and all the users in the platform that are presented to you based on your preferences. So once you're there, you can either request to join an existing group, or if you don't see that any group that it's something that you would like to participate, then you create your own group. And once you create your own group, you can invite people to join your group, or you can simply wait until people decide to join your group and request access to it. That way, you're enabled to chat one-on-one with existing users or have a group chats, let's say, with others. And in these investment groups, you have multiple tools that will enable you to collaborate with them, to distribute tasks, files, to do many things with them. So you can start working on your project online with your newly joined partnerships.
Got it. All right. So talk to me about who's actually providing the other side of this, the people who are actually sourcing the real estate and going on here looking for co-investors? Are we looking at people who are just individual investors? Are we looking for people that are doing large distributed syndicated deals? Like, what kind of investors are providing that side of the equation?
Okay, so I think for what I've seen so far, and the platform has less than a year of being live, I would say 70 to 80% are individuals that they may find deals on MLS or perhaps on off-market properties, but they're individuals that are finding their own properties they would like to invest and their own opportunities. And then you will have a 20, 30% that are perhaps more experienced investors that they may have larger projects and they want to have some partners to do something even bigger. That's something that came to a specific case in which a person that wanted to buy something bigger that was missing a couple 100,000, and he had maxed out all his lines of credits. So he was happy to find an investor, some like a silent investor, to put that money, give him some equity, and have a partnership like that. So I would say, let's say 70-30, 80-20 between both.
Excellent. Okay, so you got that. All right, so talk to me about let's go a little bit more deep on, besides the chat function, you mentioned the ability to post other information. So essentially, you're not just basically making a introduction and giving them a chat function, you're also facilitating the interaction of information between these partners. Talk to me about what is being included in this, how it's like, what is basically being passed along in order to make this thing happen?
For sure. So the number one is the ability to find others through a matching system. The second part is these groups that are confidential. So people to join the group either need to request access and the admin needs to grant access. So no one from the outside can actually read what's happening there. Then you have obviously the chat. You can share links, you can share files, you can share tasks and enumerate them, and to make sure that people and assign tasks to make sure that people will continue. I think that's something that is very important. Something I'm currently working on is to a team that will be able to help you. Something that I've noticed is that to invest in real estate, and I think everyone will notice that investing in real estate, it requires a big team to help you. We're talking about financing, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about if you need someone that coaches you or gives you advice. There are many professionals that are needed to conduct a purchase in real estate. So we are creating that as well. That's something I'm currently working on. It's going to be available, I think, mid-March, more or less. So in 2 weeks, that's going to be available. And so you will be able to contact hand-picked professionals that are there to guide you and to help you. That is different from other places. I'm not selling leads. I'm not selling information. You will have the professional right there that's going to be able to help you. So that's another piece of value added that I'm providing the users.
Excellent. All right, tasks. Talk to me about what's involved there. It's to the uninitiated. What exactly what homework are they being given here?
But that's something that I'm giving actually the freedom for the users to regulate themselves. So I'm just giving them the possibility to assign tasks to each other. That's something we are also considering adding, like templates for multiple things. One template could be for tasks someone needs to take care of the prospecting, someone needs to take care of the financing, someone needs to take care of marketing or sales. So that we are looking to include these templates in the future. For now, it's more like on a free form where they can assign tasks to themselves, mark them as complete. So there is the idea of, okay, what's next? What are the next steps so they can progress?
Excellent. So that works. Talk to me about this is where you are today. Where do you see this going in the future? What are you hoping to add to the platform?
That's an excellent question. I think there are two things where I see this going. On number one is additional value and additional services for the users. Templates for contracts, for example, help with financing as well, help with calculations and taxes. Those are complicated things that can make or break a deal. So I want to help them with that. And on the other side is expansion. So I want to expand this as much as possible. So there are more users using it. I think the more users, the more value for everyone. So that's the other leg where I want to grow.
Excellent. All right. So talk to me about user feedback. All right. You've basically been at this for a little while now. What are you hearing from both investors and the people sourcing this? What are they saying are the benefits of what you've done?
So the feedback has been very positive. So the first concern people brings me is, security, right? That's why we implemented these many layers of security, the two-step verification, the government ID, then you can flag users that are, let's say, spamming or soliciting or conducting shady businesses. You can flag them and I can remove them from the platform. So very positive feedback. People have found people they actually knew in the platform and they didn't know they were wanting to do something. So it shows that the need for something like this, even though you have created like a network, an existing network, there are still some opportunities to meet others and discover. So I think that was an overwhelming positive feedback from everyone, especially it's free. So I'm really removing barriers to this, to the industry, which is the main goal, right? To remove barriers and to make it more available to everyone.
Excellent. All right. Some podcasts go on because you got a very complicated situation. You are a very simple, straightforward platform. So the shortness of this podcast is not in any way a condemnation of what you're doing. Well done. Good work. But I'm going to wrap this up with the 3 questions I always ask at the end. The first is, if you had one wish for something you could change in your company, the industry as a whole, what would it be?
That's a tough one. If I could, I would simplify things. I would make things simpler. I find that there are many hoops sometimes that you need to jump to invest in real estate. I would make it simpler. Yeah, I would definitely make it simpler because I think there is a need for additional supply. There is a need for additional investment. I think that a lot of people, they don't invest in real estate because it's complicated, it's expensive. So I think if there were more people investing in real estate, then it would definitely be better for everyone.
Excellent. All right. And the second one is, what's been the biggest challenge in you to where you are today?
I think every time it's funny because every step I did with the Investium, I thought it was the biggest challenge. But I think the biggest challenge is to communicate, to be able to get the reach to communicate, to get to users. Once users, they try the platform, they have a positive experience and they sign up. But I think getting the reach and getting to the users, I think that's been the biggest challenge so far.
Excellent. And the last question I have is, what excites you the most about what it is you're working on and keeps you getting up in the morning to fight the good fight?
I think what excites me the most, I think, is the feedback, the positive feedback people they give me when I meet them. They say, this is a great idea, I will sign up. The people that they hear about this, the way they sign up, like in the ratios they sign up when they visit the website, that's very encouraging. What really excites me is also thinking about the product and designing the product. So when I speak with developers, thinking about new features to add, that really excites me. I think it's a very nice part of the product when you think, okay, let's create something from scratch. That is really nice. And then having the users that validate that, that's amazing.
Excellent. Jonathan, thank you very much for taking your time today.
Thank you so much, Jason. It was a pleasure.
So that was today's podcast with Jonathan Faerman of Investium. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you were looking to co-invest, by all means, check out the website. As always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please review on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, take care.
This podcast was brought to you by Woodgate Financial, an award-winning financial planning firm catering to high net worth individuals and their families. To learn more, go to woodgate.com. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, or find more episodes at jasonpereira.ca.